Ever wonder why some folks past 65 seem to have more pep in their step than others? Well, I've got a hunch it's not just luck, and I'll show you why in a sec. Hey there, friends. If you're like me, somewhere north of 65, you've probably noticed how aging feels different for everyone. Some days, I'm amazed at what I can still do, and other days, I wonder where my energy went. But here's the thing. There are little signs, everyday things, that show you're actually doing better than most folks our age. Today I'm sharing 7 surprising signs you're aging better than you might think. I've spent my golden years, at 68 now, figuring out what keeps us strong and sharp, and these are the gems I've found. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll not only spot these strengths in yourself, but you'll see why they're your ticket to thriving for years to come. Trust me, you'll wish you'd noticed these sooner. Sign number 1. You can climb stairs without feeling winded. Do you ever climb a flight of stairs and think, that wasn't so bad? I'll let you in on a little story about my buddy Tom. He's 67 and still the stairmaster of our little group. Last month, I visited him at his 2-story house, and he was hauling a basket of laundry up from the basement like it was a feather. No huffing, no puffing, just a quick grin as he said, "Gotta keep the wife happy." Years ago, he'd had a rough patch after knee surgery. Those stairs were his nemesis, leaving him winded and clinging to the railing. But Tom's stubborn. He started small, just a few steps a day, and built up over time. Now, he's the guy lugging groceries up without a second thought. That's not just luck, it's a sign his heart and lungs are still in the game. As we age, our stamina can fade, and if you're gasping after a climb, it might mean your body's asking for a little more TLC. But if you're still taking stairs in stride, you're ahead of most folks our age. Doctors say strong lungs and a steady heart are gold for staying active. Think gardening, chasing grandkids, or just keeping up with life. My tip? Start with a short walk daily, maybe to the mailbox and back, or take the stairs instead of the elevator when you're out. It's a quiet win that keeps you thriving. Sign number 2, you can twist open a jar without a struggle. How many times have you wrestled with a stubborn jar lid lately? My neighbor Ellen, bless her heart, is 70 and still the jar-opening queen. We were chatting over coffee last week when she grabbed a pickle jar her son, 40 years old, mind you, couldn't crack. With a quick twist and a chuckle, she popped it open and said, "Guess all those years kneading dough for the church bake sale paid off?" She didn't even realize how rare that is. I remember my own jar battles a few years back. My hands would slip, and I'd end up banging the lid on the counter like a drum. Frustrating. But Ellen's got this quiet strength, and it's more than just a party trick. It's her wrists, forearms, and shoulders holding steady. Stuff that weakens for lots of us after 65. If you're fumbling with lids or dropping things, it's a sneaky sign your grip's fading, and that can mess with everything from cooking to unlocking the door. But if you're still twisting away, your muscles are hanging tough, keeping you independent. Studies back this up. Grip strength ties to longer, healthier lives. Want to keep it? Squeeze a softball while you watch the news, or twist a towel like you're wringing it out, just a few minutes a day. Ellen swears by her garden trowel for practice, digging up weeds. Whatever works, it's proof your hands are still your helpers, and that's a big deal. Sign number 3, you can bend down to tie your shoes easily. Still tying your shoes without a groan or a grumble? Let me tell you about Ruth. She's 66 and a gardening fiend. I caught her last month out in her yard, bending down to yank weeds and tie her laces like she was 30. No creaks, no complaints, just a quick knot and back to work. She told me her sister, same age, can't even get her sneakers on without plopping into a chair. Stiffness has her locked up tight. Ruth shrugged and said, "I never thought about it till you mentioned it." That's the thing. She's so used to moving easy, she doesn't see how special it is. I've been there myself. Years ago, my back would protest every time I bent over, and I'd dread dropping a sock. But if you're still reaching your feet without a fuss, your hips, knees, stick knees, and spine are in rare shape. That flexibility keeps you from tipping over or straining something. Big risks as we age. Ruth's secret? She stretches while her coffee brews, just a gentle lean forward to touch her toes. It's not fancy, but it works. Doctors say bending keeps your joints loose and your balance sharp, crucial for avoiding falls. If you're stiff, start small. Sit and reach for your feet a few times a day. maybe with a towel to pull on. Ruth's proof it pays off. Her garden's blooming, and so is she. So next time you tie those laces standing up, give yourself a pat on the back. You're defying the odds. Sign number 4. You can chat without losing your train of thought. Ever find yourself mid-story and still know exactly where you're headed? My pal Jim, he's 69, could talk your ear off and never miss a beat. Last week we were on the porch, and he launched into this 10-minute saga about his fishing trip. Every detail, from the trout that got away to the sandwich he packed, crystal clear. I've sat through chats with other friends our age who'd trail off, forget the point, or laugh it off with, "Oh, you know how it is." Not Jim. He's got this spark, and he grinned when I said, "Your brain's still firing on all cylinders." He just said, "Guess I've got some stories left in me." That's a bigger deal than he knows. After 65, it's normal for memory to fuzz a bit, names slip, or you blank on why you walked into a room. But if you're spinning yarns or juggling your to-do list without a hitch, your mind's sharper than most. I've had my own foggy days, once forgot my grocery list mid-aisle, but keeping it clear feels like a win. Experts say a strong memory ties to better health overall, less stress, more confidence. Jim keeps his edge with crosswords over coffee. I like chatting with my grandkids about their day. It's a workout for the brain. If you're still holding court at the dinner table, you're in great shape. Try jotting a quick story or two each week. Keep that spark alive, because it's a sign you're thriving. Sign number 5, you can walk a mile without aching. How's a nice long walk sound to you these days? My cousin Betty, she's 71, is my walking hero. Every morning she takes her little terrier Max for a mile around the park. No cane, no creaky knees, just a steady stride. She told me last Sunday her friends at the senior center can barely make it half that far before their hips or backs start complaining. Betty just shrugged and said, "I guess I'm lucky." But it's more than luck. I've seen her keep it up rain or shine, chatting with neighbors along the way. I used to huff after a block myself, back when my joints were fussier, but Betty's a reminder of what's possible. If you're aching after a short stroll, it might mean your legs or spine need a boost, common as we age. But if you're clocking a mile pain-free, your bones, muscles, and stamina are gold star status. Doctors love this. It's tied to better heart health and fewer falls. Betty's trick? She parks at the far end of the lot when she shops, sneaking in extra steps. I say try a flat path first, maybe to the corner store, and build up slow if you're rusty. Add a buddy or some music to keep it fun. Betty swears Max keeps her young, and I believe it. Those walks are her secret weapon. So if you're still stepping out without a wince, you're a rare bird. Keep flapping those wings. Sign number 6, you can lift a grandkid or a bag overhead. Still hoisting anything or anyone up high without a wince? My friend Clara, 68, is the grandma every kid dreams of. Last month, she was babysitting her grandson, Timmy. He's 4 and a wiggle worm. She scooped him up to peek at the cookie jar on the top shelf, arms steady, no grunt or grimace. She laughed and said, "He's heavier than my old dumbbells from the 80s. I told her most folks our age would feel that in their shoulders for days. She just winked and said, "Guess I'm still in the game." I've had my own lifting flops, once strained my back grabbing a suitcase, but Clara's a champ. That overhead power isn't just for show. It's her arms, shoulders, and core saying, "We've got this." After 65, lifting gets dicey. Weak bones or stiff joints can turn a reach into a regret. But if you're still raising a bag or a kid without trouble, you're beating the odds. It's a lifeline for independence. Think hanging curtains or stashing dishes up high? Clara keeps it simple. She does arm raises with soup cans while dinner cooks. I'd add a tip. Stand tall, lift slow, and stop if it tweaks. If you're rusty, start with a light book and work up. Clara's proof it's worth it. Timmy's giggles and those cookies are her reward. So if you're still reaching for the stars, you're in rare company. Keep those arms strong because it's a sign you're thriving. Sign number 7, you sleep through the night, mostly. How's your sleep been lately? Still catching those Z's without a fight? My old neighbor Ed, he's 72, has sleep down to an art. We were swapping stories over the fence last week and he said, "I'm out cold most nights now. Best rest I've had in years." He wasn't always that way. Used to wake up every hour pacing the house like a ghost. But Ed got wise. He cut the afternoon coffee, dims the lights early, and sips chamomile tea before bed. Now he's snoozing while I know folks our age who'd kill for 6 straight hours, tossing, turning, or staring at the ceiling till dawn. I've had my own restless nights, joint aches, or a busy mind, but Ed's a role model. If you're waking up refreshed more often than not, your body's running like a dream. Sleep's tricky past 65. Aches, worries, or even too much screen time can steal it. But good rest keeps your energy up, your mood steady, and even your heart ticking right. Ed's trick is that tea in a dark room. I'd toss in a tip, skip the late snacks, they can stir you up. If it's a battle, try a warm bath or soft music. Small fixes add up. Ed says his mornings are brighter now, and I see it. He's out pruning roses at dawn. So if you're still sleeping sound, you're a rare catch. Cherish it, because it's a sign you're aging like a pro. Sign number 8, you can hear a whisper across the table. Still catching every word at the dinner table, even the quiet ones? Take my friend Lois. She's 70 and has ears like a hawk. We were at a family dinner last week, and her niece whispered something about dessert from across the table. Lois piped up, "Oh, pie sounds perfect." Didn't miss a beat. Her nephew laughed and said, "Aunt Lois, you've got better hearing than me." She just smiled. She's used to it. I've seen others our age lean in, cup an ear, or nod along pretending they heard. Not Lois. Years ago, I'd miss half a conversation in a noisy room myself. Frustrating when you're left out. But if you're still picking up whispers, your hearing's holding strong, and that's rare past 65. It's not just about ears, it's your brain keeping sound sharp too. Losing it can sneak up, background noise gets muddy, or you're asking what too often. But if you're still tuned in, you're staying connected to chats, grandkids' giggles, even birds outside. Lois says she keeps it by turning down the TV a notch, lets her ears work a little. I'd add, skip the loud headphones and get a quick check if things feel off. Hearing ties to memory and mood, miss too much, and you might pull back from the fun. Lois is proof it matters. She's the life of every party. So if you're still hearing the soft stuff, you're golden. Keep those ears perked. It's a thriving sign. Sign number 9, you can smell the rain coming. Ever catch that fresh scent before a storm and know what's up? My buddy Hank, he's 69, has a nose like a weather vane. We were on his porch last month, sipping tea, when he sniffed the air and said, "Rain's coming, better grab the cushions." Sure enough, 20 minutes later, drops were falling. I barely noticed a thing, but Hank's always been that way. Picks up coffee brewing, flowers blooming, even a pie in the oven from down the hall. He laughed and said, "My wife calls me her smoke detector." I've known folks our age who miss those smells, faded over time, and they don't even realize it. I've had my own dull days, once walked past a lilac bush and got nothing. But if you're still sniffing out rain or dinner, your sense of smell's a quiet superstar. After 65, it can fade, meds, age, or sinus trouble. But a sharp nose keeps you tied to life's little joys. Hank swears by steaming with hot water now and then, clears him out. I'd say skip strong perfumes that mask it and savor your coffee slow. Keeps it alive. Smells more than nostalgia. It warns you of smoke or spoiled food too. Hank's still the first to know when the grill's ready, and it keeps him in the game. So if you're catching those whiffs, you're ahead. Breathe deep, it's a sign you're thriving. Sign number 10, you can taste every bite like it's new. Still savoring every flavor on your plate, no matter how simple? My friend Marie, she's 68, makes every meal a celebration. Last week she had me over for soup, just broth, carrots, a little spice. But she closed her eyes and said, "This is heaven." I tasted it, darn good, and she caught every note, from the pepper to the hint of thyme. She told me her brother, same age, barely tastes a thing. Everything's bland to him now. Marie's always been a foodie, but she didn't know how rare that is. I've had days where salt and sugar blur together myself, meds or age dulling it. But if you're still tasting every bite, your senses are shining, and that's special past 65. It's not just your tongue, Your nose and brain team up, and they're still clicking. Losing, it's common. Food turns boring, and you might skip meals or oversalt. But if you're relishing flavors, you're in the moment. Eating's joy, not a chore. Marie keeps it sharp with fresh herbs, no heavy sauces to drown it out. I'd toss in, sip water between bites, skip smoking if you still do, it muddies the palate. Taste ties to health, good appetite, good nutrition. Marie's glowing proof. She's tiny but strong, all from loving her food. So if you're still tasting the rainbow, you're a rare gem. Enjoy every spoonful, it's a thriving sign. Well, there you have it. 7 signs you're aging better than most of us past 65. I hope you're smiling, spotting some of these in yourself. These little wins are just the beginning though. If you like this, check out my next video on remarrying after 60, 10 truths you must know before saying, I do again. It's perfect if you want to keep that spring in your step. Links right here. Before you go, tell me in the comments, which sign surprised you most? I'd love to hear your thoughts. They keep me going. And if this helped you today, I'd love to keep sharing. Hit that subscribe button and the bell so we can chat again soon. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you next time.